Welcome. Hashtag Theversashow is part of an entertainment podcast that exercises our freedom of speech. Our conversations, opinions, debate on a certain topic is not to offend anyone in any source. For that being said, enjoy the show.
Yo, what's happening? What is happening? Welcome back to hashtag Theversashow. This is episode 8. And you know, this is great. This episode is great. Episode 8, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, I have to do this podcast right here with my partner in crime, Fraz FR, ladies and gentlemen.
For real, what's good with you?
What's going on, Fraz FR?
Yeah, man, just chilling. In a great mood today, you feel me?
I love it, brother. I love it. Well, today, hopefully, is just gonna be a short topic today. And today, I was looking at Chris Rock's new Netflix special called Outrage, and I actually pretty liked it, man. It was a pretty good skit.
Okay.
And I got some topics here that I've written down that I thought was pretty interesting, and hopefully, share with the viewers right here that is looking and listening. And if you haven't seen the Chris Rock special on Netflix, it's called Chris Rock Outrage. Is on Netflix right now, and he performed it in Baltimore. And so there's some few topics that he presented in his special here, and a few topics here. And like I said, if you haven't seen it, I'm so sorry. I mean, you gotta see it, and then who knows, probably watch this episode. But other than that, if you have seen it, I'd like to touch on some few things, that he said on his special. Yeah. So one thing he said, first of all, the top of his show, he thanks his people for showing up in his Netflix special. That was one. Another thing he talked about was hurt words. He talked about the difference between the past and the present. And then the next one was another one was selective outrage, which I thought that was pretty interesting, like as being a hypocrite. For instance, he was like, people that plays Michael Jackson songs, but they won't play R. Kelly songs, but they got the same crime.
Wow.
But one makes better music, so that's like a selective outrage. Not only people are full of shit, but business are full of shit. He also mentioned too. Once again, like, you got to catch his Netflix special on Chris Rock's Outrage. Then he talks about addicted to attention. And I thought this was pretty interesting right here. 4 different ways to be addicted to attention. 4 easy ways to get addicted to attention. And for the females, that is to show your ass. Number 2 is to be infamous. Number 3 is to be excellent. And number 4 is to be a victim. Now, when he said that, people was like, where are you going with this being a victim? What he meant was like, nowadays is that female now these days are playing victim, but when they the one that are guilty, you know what I'm saying? So he was like, now in day and age, it's like, if you want to get that attention, then you got to play that victim part. And then he was like, we living in a world where emergency rooms helping people with paper cuts, meaning people that's taking them to court, suing them, and stuff like that. But anyway, another thing he talked about was white people losing the country. Talking about the January 4th incident, he was like, it was like White Planet on the Apes.
Wow.
So I was like, damn, Chris Rock, okay. That's pretty interesting, the White Planet Apes. And the kind of day he was like, white people climbing on walls and stuff like that. And I was like, he's kind of right, man, But anyway, another thing he talked about was Snoop Dogg in commercials. I've seen Snoop Dogg in a whole bunch of those.
Yeah.
Like the dude was in a Corona commercial.
And he's not in just one Corona commercial. There's like a bunch of them. Like one where he's handing out Corona to everybody. One where he's sitting down with this dude from one of the TV shows. He's sitting down with him and him start rapping. There's another one. He's in a bunch of them.
Yeah, man, yo, I was like, yo, Snoop Dogg, he's making that money though. Show us Shaq too. You know, Charles Barkley. You know, they're making that money off of these commercials. And I've been saying it too. Commercials is where is it at?
I just thought about that. Is Kenny in a lot of commercials?
Kenny Smith?
Yeah. Just randomly because you said Shaq and Charles Barkley.
Yeah, but I mean Kenny not so much. He was in the movie.
Okay, all right. Anyway, well, yeah, go back to that.
Okay, so yeah, he was talking about Snoop Dogg and commercials and stuff. Then I really don't want to get into, but he talks about Rachel Morgan Markle. If I say her last name right, Markle. You know, she was married to the prince and the royal family. Mm-hmm. So he was saying about she didn't know about the royal family is racist. You know, and Chris Rock kind of was like, you know, did the OGs of racism. So then he talked about on how brown the baby is going to be. Mm-hmm. Yep. Like the royal family. I remember that too. Like there was like, when Queen Elizabeth was living, she was wondering on how the baby's going to come out. Like, is it going to come out dark? Is it going to come out light? And what's funny, Chris Rock was like, she trying to debate to see if it was coming as a Steph Curry baby or a Draymond Green baby. He said, huh?
This man's different.
Yeah, yo, he's like, if it's a Draymond Green baby, he's gonna have a rough life. Anyway, so then Chris Rock doesn't call it racist. Actually, he doesn't call it racist because he said, you know, you should have Googled it. You know, you should Google the royal family before you married into the royal family. Well, that's a strong point. Because I was like, yeah, you should have done your history before getting into the royal family.
Anything you're doing, any job you do. I mean, are you going to go for a job and not look what the job entitled?
Right.
You're not going to do that. So this is royal family. Or like imagine BT say, hey, we want you to host something for us. Are you just going to go there? All right, cool, I'm coming there. I'm going to host it. Or are you going to look up in the past? Who said what? How did this person did his before?
Well, that's what they did with Kevin Hart with the Oscars.
You see what I'm saying? Like but he made sure he had to look up stuff, though. You're not just going to jump into the Oscars and do that. Like John Cena, like he looked up what Peyton Manning was doing for the ESPYs, right? Mm-hmm. All the time. Like he looked up what Peyton Manning was doing just so he can be not similar, but somewhat close to say, okay, I can tell jokes at least.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to just go to the royal family like, oh, yeah, okay, cool. Take me to the castle. All right. Yeah.
And when I could see, I think when she found out he was part of royalty, she was like, royalty? Oh my God, how much?
I don't care what you part of. I'm looking that shit up. That's dumb.
Facts.
I don't care. Like right now, a chick could tell me she from Saudi Arabia, like, I'm a princess, come marry me. I'm like, let me look up this picture real quick. Nah, I'm cool.
Yeah, like,
you know what I'm saying?
This is coming to America?
Like, nah, bro.
Yeah, so I agree with Chris Rock on that. And then getting along with your in-laws. She was trying to get along with her in-laws, but you know, they was basing on her color of her skin and where she's from and stuff. So I mean, hey, listen, Rachel, you should have done your research first. I hope your marriage lasts a long time. I pray for that, but you know, Chris Rock has some pointers there. You know, you should have done your research first. But continue on. This is another funny one. He follows up with that with Kim Kardashian. With the Kardashians. Excuse me, not Kim Kardashian. Excuse me. He followed up with the Kardashians. He talked about Robert Kardashian helping out O.J. Simpson on his double murder case, then got cursed.
Oh, shit.
Yo, and I thought it was pretty interesting because he said that God appeared pretty much saying his daughter, and this is what he says, that God appeared and pretty much saying that his daughters will fuck nothing but niggas. Not just any niggas, crazy niggas. And I was dying laughing. I was like, yo, that is true. Was it a curse? So then he was, like you really think about it. It's like, because I remember watching the OJ series with Cuba Gooding Jr. And then
damn.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it because it's like you think about all of them right now. You're like, she was with a nigga. She was with a nigga. She was with a nigga. She's still with a nigga. She's still with a nigga. She was with a nigga. I'm like, yeah.
And it was interesting because he was like, bipolar. Oh no, because he was saying Kris Jenner was like the black grandmother that accepts everybody into the family. Because he was like, bipolar nigga, come on into the family. Nigga that smokes crack, come on into the family. So I was like, damn, man. I mean, if Chris Rock written his comedy sketch, A+. All right, anyway. So then he talks about Bruce becoming Caitlyn and the Kardashian accepting him as Caitlyn. And following up, if his father was a woman, he would accept him as a transgender woman. But his brother Andre, he will not accept that. His brother Andre is a bit different on that one. And okay, again, we're going to get to the main topic. This is certain topics that he talked about that I thought was pretty good pointers on. Once again, this is Chris Rock Outrage, his Netflix special that came out not too long ago, and I watched it twice, and it was a pretty good series. So the next one he talked about was America as a country. And then he talked about like Ukraine as a country, they're united, but here we're divided, And I was like, yeah, because he was like, when it came down to Ukraine fighting against Russia, like they all stick together, got all the tactics and stuff. When it comes to the United States, they'll be like, we'll hear you out. You're like, let's hear you out. And then he was like, that's pretty much the difference between America and Ukraine, like the countries. So he's about pro-life and pro-choice, pro-life, pro-choice, which is a very subject to talk about another episode on the #Theversashow. He also talked about abortions, which we won't get into abortions, So he also talked about kids nowadays. His daughter, on how she got kicked out of school for getting drunk on a school trip. And first Chris was going to, they're talking about lawsuits and stuff like that. And Chris was going to sue the school. But then for some reason, like he caught his daughter laughing with, her friends and stuff. And he was like, what you laughing about? And then she was like, don't worry about it, Daddy. It's going to be fine. So then after that, he was like, oh, okay. He called the principal up. And then he told the principal, he was like, yo, kick my daughter out this school. Kick her out. Because she's over here thinking that it's a game. She thinks it's a
joke.
game.
Yeah, like, nah.
So he was like, kick her out the school. So, I could, teach her a lesson, prove a point. She gets a phone call. So he's acting like, like nobody knows. His lawyer don't know. His ex-wife don't know. The daughter don't know. So she gets a phone call. So Chris like, go get that baby. So she got it, and she starts crying. Oh, Daddy, they kicked me out of school. And then he was like, I told you about them white folks. This is what Chris Rock is saying. So, but at the end, the bright side about it was that she learned her lesson. She became humble, and by becoming humble, she read up a lot of letters and stuff. Even the mistakes that she did, she wrote that down too. And she actually got into a culinary school in Paris. Yeah, man. So, congratulations to Chris Rock's daughter for that. That's big ups right there. Big ups. Another thing he talked about was his single life, different age from 25 to 45 to 50. 25 girls want shoes, which he's right. 45 and 50 women, they want like their roof fixed. They want their car fixed and stuff. So that's what he pretty much talked about. Nothing too important. Women have power. I think this is pretty interesting. He says, women having power. Female beauty is power. For example, Beyonce is so fine. If she worked at Burger King, she could still get Jay-Z.
Yeah.
And if you really think about it, she still could get Jay-Z if she was working at Burger King.
Yeah. I mean, but it's not just her. It's like any female. Like, think about it. How much of these dudes, rappers, basketball players, football players, they just go talk to a girl, regular girl.
Right.
She fine. That's why I say she got power.
Right. And then it was crazy that certain women, like, they could work at like Old Navy and they still get
It
hollered at.
don't matter. It don't matter, bruh. It don't matter.
Nah, it don't matter at all. But but if Jay-Z worked at Burger King,
It'd have been like, who you?
exactly, yeah, like, yeah. I'm sorry, Hov, ain't working, bro, ain't working. But yeah, Beyonce did work at Burger King. Yeah, I mean, she could definitely still get a billionaire, without a shot of a doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, if Drake could pick up Ice Spice, either way. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are now getting close to the main event. Once again, this is Chris Rock Outrage. His Netflix special right now is out. Hasn't been out not too long ago. And if you haven't catch it, because there's certain main topics that you and your friends could talk about. Here you go, Fraz. Here we go. The main talk right now, ladies. This is the main talk of the evening. Chris Rock talks about Will Smith slapping him at the Oscars a year ago. Yeah, it's cooking now. He called him Suge Smith, which I was like, damn.
That's crazy.
Damn, Chris. Also, he said that he still has Summertime ringing in his ear. Drums, please. Boom, boom, boom. Also, he said that he took that hit like Pacquiao.
Damn. He went there with it?
He went there with it. And I was like, he's right. He didn't go down. He didn't drop down or nothing. He took that slap like a man. Like, Chris Rock, you should be on Power Slap. You Dana White. You should sign Chris Rock.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, sign Will Smith too. There you go.
Yeah,
Will Smith, Chris Rock.
Hey, get it going.
Exactly. Power Slap. There we go. Either way, man. Then, like we was talking about, he talked about the body size comparison.
Yeah.
He was like, Will Smith played Ali, and he played Muhammad Ali and Ali. I played Pookie in New Jack City. So I was like, and of course, like we said, if it was anybody, The Rock, if it was Mike Tyson,
man, by the time he do that, Rock, what you doing, boy?
oh no, first of all, I would love to see that. I would stay too.
Man, he probably wouldn't even go. I don't think so. He probably looked at it and like, no, I want no problems.
And no wrestling talk, but just to add, people talking about Roman Reigns versus The Rock. Yeah, The Rock versus Will Smith at WrestleMania. And it's in Hollywood too. I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so anyway, then he says Will Smith practices selective outrage. So once again, that goes right back to selective outrage. Like, people will listen to a Michael Jackson song, but when it comes to an R. Kelly song, then it's like you become judgmental. So Will Smith, I guess he becomes more judgmental, more of a hypocrite, ever since, I guess that movie King Richard. Mm-hmm. So I guess he became selective outrage. They also talked about Chris Rock said he didn't do anything, but he said Jada started it. So that's what he said. So he's saying that Jada started it. And from that, like I told you before, was the 2 years ago, the time Chris Rock first hosted the Oscars, and Jada was upset that that Will Smith didn't get the Oscars for concussion. So she felt that Chris Rock didn't back Will Smith up. So Jada, you kind of just started it. You should have just left Chris Rock's name out of it. You should have just said that I'm upset that, at the time, my husband didn't get an Oscar for concussion. Period. Should have just left it as that. But you had to add a name in it. So from the words of Chris Rock, like he said, you started it. I was supposed to finish it. So, hey. Then he talks about the cheating scandal. He says that he said that the cheater should have been interviewing Will Smith. And he didn't say the name on his special, but, fuck it. I'm going to say it. He meant August Estina, Jaden's friend, Jada's son, Will's son. They were hanging out, I guess, on a little vacation, I guess you could say. And next thing you know, August and Jada got hooked up. The entanglement happened. So Chris was pretty much alluding to that, you know. So, hey, he's right. You know, I mean, if anything, it should have been in the Red Table Talk. It should have been August and Will Smith. But the problem is that it's like, you know, you got two people that is just having anger and rage. One has anger and rage. The other one, I guess, is just like, yo, man, I am sorry, but, you know, I had to do what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, then this was I thought it was interesting. He said that she hurt him more than he hurt me, referring to Chris Rock. So he's saying that Jada hurt Will more than the slap that he gave to Chris Rock, which he's right. You know, I mean, I felt like Will Smith was really hurt.
Yeah.
And depending on Chris Rock, that ain't right, man. Like, if anything, you should have depended on the man that slept with your wife.
Yeah, that's true, bro. Like, you taking the anger out on the wrong nigga.
Yeah, man. Nah, bro. Can't be doing that, Will. You know. Anyway. Then he talked about people on social media calling Will Smith a bitch. Yeah. Calling him a bitch.
I mean, everybody was doing it. Like, you could have did this privately. That's one of the stuff you do privately. You feel me? Like, you just showed out yourself, in front of your wife that actually laughed at the whole situation. Didn't even come over and say, oh, thank you or nothing. She just laughed.
Yeah, because at first, when Chris Rock said the joke, and what he said the joke was, he's like, he pointed at Jada, and he says, G.I. Jane, too. Can't wait to see it. Love the hairdo. You know, and that was pretty much was the joke. Will laughed. Jada already had that look on her face like, oh, here he goes again. But Will laughed at first. And I thought I was crazy because I was like, didn't he just laugh?
He did. Mm-hmm. He did. He laughed and then walked up stage, slapped him, and was literally smiling coming off the stage.
Right. Yep. And then next you know, when I guess he saw Jada's demeanor, he was like, nah, she's not happy. I got to change this. But damn it, Will. Like, those are two grown folks. You know what I'm saying? And he could have just went up there and the microphone is on him. So he could have just went like, you know, yo, Chris, do me a favor. Don't talk about my wife in public, please.
And then walk back. Yeah, and then walk back.
Right, and then walk back. But
it wouldn't have been a scandal because it would have been just like, oh, Will Smith walked up on stage to interrupt with the Oscars just to tell Chris Rock, don't talk about my wife. Nobody wouldn't pay that really attention, really. That would have been blown out of proportion if it was different, but it would have been gone already, like the first month, not even probably first 2 weeks, because nobody would have cared. But bro, slapping the dude in the face on the Oscars, you could have did that backstage. Like it's crazy, right? Think about when the West Coast came here and all that shit was popping off, and Snoop Dogg was like, y'all don't have love for the West Coast. Anybody could have went up on stage at that time, right? Anybody could have went up on stage, did some shit.
Yeah.
Never happened. There was more animosity there than it was at the Oscars. But you went up on stage and did that.
Yeah. And it was crazy, which, no, I'm going to say it in the conclusion of this. But first of all, I'm going to just say Will shouldn't have done that.
He shouldn't.
I'll say that in the conclusion of why. And another thing he said too, first of all, he called his wife, and people was calling his wife a predator on social media. Then, which I agree with Chris Rock on, he says, and then after all of that, his wife sleeping with August, people on social media calling Will a bitch because of the Red Table Talk that they had and the look on his face. And he winds up hitting Chris Rock. And Chris Rock said, for that was a bitch ass shit. That was some bitch ass shit. I agree.
Yeah, like I said, you went after the wrong person, man. If Tory, I don't even want to speak out it, forget it. But if another nigga can go and beat up somebody that, did something, and you're the dude that had this happen to you, bro, I don't know. It's just crazy because I don't know. I can see that happening, and I'm just like chilling. I'm not that type of dude, bro.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you don't just go, look, I've been through situations where I told dudes like, yo, I just talked to him. You feel me? But then it's on you if you want to just talk and say, all right, cool. Or you trying to fight or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
He could have talked to him.
Yeah, to the fullest. That was the mature best way, was just to talk to Chris. And then what's insane is like, damn, Will, look what happened. And that night, you won an Oscar that night. And you took away so many people.
Oscar celebrations just because of the bullshit you did. Nobody, I can't remember who won Oscars apart from Will Smith. Who else won?
I know. I remember that Chris Love and his Samuel L. Jackson got his.
I can't remember. You know why? And the funny thing is, you told me about Samuel Jackson's before, but you know why I can't remember it? Because all I remember is that damn slap.
Yep. That was the main focus on that Oscar.
Imagine Samuel Jackson goes somewhere where, you know, people didn't know certain things, and he's like, yeah, you know, I won an Oscar. You won an Oscar, Samuel? Oh, cool. When? What year? Oh, that same year Will Smith slapped Chris Rock? That's how it's going to be remembered.
Yeah.
Not as, the 2022 Oscars? No, it's going to be, the year Chris Rock got slapped by Will Smith. That's the year you won an Oscar, your first Oscar? That's
Man, he lost so many respect, man. And he took so many people moments, man. Like Questlove got his first one, and then Samuel L. Jackson. I think Denzel too got one too. I can't remember. Anyway, then started from Jada was upset that Will didn't accept the Oscar from Concussion. That's what we already discussed about. And then Chris Rock called out Jada's name, called Jada a bitch. Then he said, this bitch started it, so I'ma finish it. That was Chris Rock's, that's what he said. You know, so you could tell though he was angry, man.
Like I said, there's certain comedians you can tell when they're actually angry. He's one of them.
Okay, so here's my question now, right? Mm-hmm. If Will Smith saw this special for some reason, or just saw that clip that he says, this bitch started it, so I'm going to have to finish it. If someone would have showed Will that, I want to know how would Will feel? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I can't even tell you, you know, because I would never let it get to that point. But I can't even tell you. Like, are you still going to sit there and be like, damn, he's still talking about my wife? Or are you going to be like, damn, she actually talked, like...
So let me ask you this.
Good.
Okay, so I'm gonna say it's like, is there an understanding? Because Will should be like, you know, I understand where he's coming from.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I can't tell you that. You know, I don't know what he's thinking. You just thought it. I thought it. Because it would have been like, damn, I know where he's coming from. I understand it because she talked about him first. So he did that. I slapped him. It's a spiral thing out of control. But I don't know. I don't know if that's what he's thinking. He could be thinking, oh, he's still talking about my wife.
Yeah. You're right.
You don't know what he gonna think, man.
Yeah, true. Now, this is another interesting part too. We get into the ending. We get to the conclusion. And there's no final word or anything. This is a straight one-piece episode. And I thank you for guys for listening too. Once again, the last part he said, and why he didn't hit Will Smith back. Chris Rock said, he has parents. He was raised. And going back to what I said before on Chris Rock, you know, pretty much being the victim is because one thing his parents told him, and ladies and gentlemen, I think you should put this down in your notes. He says, well, his parents says, don't fight in front of white people. He throws a mic on the ground. End of the show. What a way to end the show.
That is crazy because think about it. When you have black on black crime, you don't really hear nothing about it. If you have white on black or black on white, you do hear about it. It's the same thing. Like if there's a fight could be going on somewhere, nobody not going to really care. But if there's a black dude beating up a white dude or something happening, you're going to hear about it. So he's right. Don't fight in front of white people.
He's absolutely correct. And in conclusion and all of this, now I could have my own intake on it. Now, like I said, the special was amazing. And what he said, you know, don't fight in front of white people, especially if you're in like a white business. You don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like we were talking about with John Morant, the Kyrie Irvings, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I was telling one guy at the job, and I was saying the same thing. I was like, yeah, but you know, Kyrie Irving stands for this. and Ja Morant stands for that. But if the organization, if the owner, if he's white, of course he's not going to tolerate that type of stuff. He's not going to, I'm sorry to tell you the truth, he's not going to tolerate it. If it doesn't symbolizes the brand or the sport itself, he's not going to tolerate it.
Nah, he's not going to care about it at all.
No. So by Will Smith hitting Chris Rock, it's like, man, you did it in front of most of the white people. And on top of that, you did it in a white organization. If Oscars was owned by black folks, they probably would have been like, damn, well, like, you shouldn't, maybe 3 years suspension and then you come back. But since it's the Oscars, nah, bro, they gave you 10 years.
10 years.
10 years. Like, damn it, man. And you want an Oscar that night, and not even once did you even apologize to Chris. But you have to wait a few more weeks to make a fucking video and then apologize and then say, oh, well, excuse me, I'm so sorry. I start thinking about his family and stuff. Okay. Actors, I get it. You get into character, and sometimes it's hard to get out of the character once the movie is over. I understand that. I get it. But you got to have that mental strength that once you out of that movie, you're out of that character, you're back in reality. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could make a movie of me being famous and then actually live that life. But for right now, I got to live reality right now.
Yeah.
And for Will Smith to just lose it all just because of a joke. Chris Rock is right. It's just a joke.
I'm a comedian, bro. Like, every comedian does this. You look at any show. Shaq has gotten, Kevin Hart has did something against Shaq in comedy. Dave Chappelle has done it against a lot of people. Cat Williams has done it. Come on, bro. It's a joke.
Just a joke. And he just said G.I. Jane too.
And you know what's crazy? It's not like he went after y'all personal business. He didn't do nothing like that.
Right.
Nothing like that. If he'd have done it like, and that's why probably Will is upset about it, then I would have been like, you probably took it too far, Chris. But he went after a joke with her. A joke. So if you try and tell me you can't take that, I don't know what to tell you.
He's sensitive. Will is sensitive.
Bro, that's too sensitive.
Yeah. And matter of fact, did he not did a movie with Martin Lawrence?
Yeah.
Ain't he a comedian?
Yeah.
Now, okay, maybe there's a difference. Maybe Martin Lawrence will not talk about his wife or his kids. We don't know. He probably did behind the scenes. We don't know. But if he did, I bet you Will Smith would not even touch Martin Lawrence.
Nah, he's not doing that.
No, not at all. And it's not even about the size. Let's be real. It's just about the respect. And he has lost respect for Chris Rock since the time that like the whole concussion. Oh, he didn't win an Oscar because of that. Like, let it go. Oh, there's a lot of movies Will Smith didn't win. A lot of movies. And there's movies that Will Smith was in. He should have won an Oscar. But you know what? Damn it. He got one, but he got one at the wrong time. Oh, man. And in that note, phrase, and that final word is, ladies and gentlemen, don't fight in front of white people. And we're going to close the show just like that. From the words of Chris Rock. Hot damn it. Fraz, I thank you so much, brother, man.
You already know.
Yes, sir. We're going to go light up again. You know what I'm saying? We're going to go light up. Hashtag Theversashow. Make sure you subscribe and press that bell for more new episodes. And I thank you guys for your viewership. Keep telling your friends about the show because we got a lot more episodes coming.
A lot more.
And we got more. Yeah, and trust me too, we got some songs. We got some music video too coming. Hashtag Theversashow, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. And once again, this is just a little special on Chris Rock special. Once again, watch it. It is Chris Rock Outrage. It's on Netflix right now. Make sure you guys catch it. It's a pretty funny and as well as serious matter on his comedy sketch. And matter of fact, in the next episode, we might even talk about who's your top best comedians.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. Oh, I got about 3 already in mind. Ladies and gentlemen, have a blessed day. This is hashtag The Versa Show. I am The Versa. This is Fraz, FR.
For real. EP.
Peace, ladies and gentlemen.
Hashtag The Versa Show is produced by Vintage Era Production.